Donald Trump appears to be one step closer to ignoring, flouting what federal judges say the law is, even though that's what the Constitution assigns to federal judges and the judiciary, that they have the right to declare what the law is. But Donald Trump doesn't like those declarations, doesn't like those federal judges that have all issued over 20 different injunctions against him. And he just signed an executive order just today, one of 50 he has signed since the start of his administration. And in this one, he says it's only the United States president and its attorney general who can declare what the law is. Wrong. That is not the role of the executive branch. The executive branch is to execute on the law already established by Congress as interpreted by federal judges. But Donald Trump wants to turn that world upside down, and I'm not going to let him. At least I'm going to talk about it a lot here on Legal AF. I'm glad you're here. Let's take a moment and hit the subscribe button and join this thing together. Now, Donald Trump's administration has already taken steps and has taken positions in court that indicate that they're on the precipice. They're on the verge of ignoring court orders. They're on the verge of being found in contempt and not caring about it, or letting the courts rule as they may, and that's up to them. But that the executive branch will ignore it. And that has been our fear, that Donald Trump will, in his continued corrupt, failed administration, that he will start to thumb their nose, their collective nose, at the federal judiciary, completely upending what was supposed to be co-equal branches of government in a delicate checks and balance. A checks and balance I've already declared in prior analysis here on Legal AF after Justice Roberts signed the immunity decision, elevating the presidency above the other two branches, that he had already destroyed the three co-equal branches of government, and Donald Trump has run with it. Now, the question that we've been positing here, the thought experiment that we've been engaged in is, what if Donald Trump and his administrators don't listen to federal judges when they interpret what the law means, which is their job, right? That's their job under Article 3 of the Constitution. The president's job under Article 2 is to execute the law. Article 1, Congress, to make the law. That's how this is supposed to work. So what am I to make of this new executive order in which he says that he is reestablishing the long-standing norm that only the president or the attorney general, God forbid Pam Bondi, can speak for the United States when stating an opinion as to what the law is? There's only one branch that can state an opinion that's binding as to what the law is, and it ain't the executive branch. But this is another step, another link in the chain for Donald Trump and his insubordination, him undermining our democracy and our rule of law. He's taking the rule out of the rule of law. Now, let's take it one step further. Let's say Donald Trump and his administration refuse to abide by an injunction or an order or court order blocking something, interpreting something. That's your opinion, in other words, they would say to a federal judge. Our opinion, as expressed by Pam Bondi and by Donald Trump, is something else. So we have a difference of opinion, and let's leave it at that. No, that's not how this works. We are a rule of law, and if we lose that, then what do we have? We have anarchy. We descend into madness, and we descend into anarchy. And so that you can see it coming now, right? Oh, that's your opinion, right? This is part of the fake news, right? As we've always said before the Trump era, you have the right to your own opinion. You don't have the right to your own set of facts or your own fact. A fact is immutable. And so now Donald Trump is saying only I can express the opinion of the law, turning the Constitution and its three co-equal branches upside down. What is a judge to do? Here's how I think it'll work, or how it should work. A judge calls a cabinet member or an administrator for Donald Trump or Donald Trump himself into the courtroom, finds that person ultimately in contempt of court for refusing to abide by the court order. There's then two things that person can do. You need to prosecute contempt, but the prosecutors are under the control of Donald Trump. So under a law established by the Supreme Court in 1987 involving two parties, Young and Louis Vuitton, the luggage manufacturer, the luxury goods manufacturer, a federal judge may appoint a special prosecutor, a special counsel, not through the Department of Justice, independent from the executive branch, which has been corrupted, and let them prosecute. We could see prosecutors being appointed by judges to go after the executive branch. That's out of control. Then what? Let's say they get a special prosecutor. Let's say they impanel a grand jury. Let's say the grand jury indicts the executive branch for flouting the judicial branch, ignoring it. Then what? Then they need a constable. They need law enforcement. So the court could deputize marshals, U.S. marshals, not under the control of the executive branch, or state law enforcement or state militia under, in this case, democratically controlled governorships, to arrest and imprison and put people like in the D.C. jail if the federal jail is not going to be available to them because it's under the control of Trump. So there is a way around this. But I wanted to call out right now. I didn't want to get lost in the shuffle. Or as we like to say when somebody misses an email, putting it to the top of box, putting it to the top of your mind. He just signed an executive order that says his opinion about what the law is equal to, if not greater than, what a judge's opinion is. And now we're into the descent into chaos and anarchy.